Well, I'm more fearless. It's Mr. Divabetic, and one of the biggest issues facing our Divabetic community is food and figuring out what to eat, especially if you're living with type 2 diabetes. So joining me today is our friend and colleague, Jill Weisenberger. Hi, Jill. How are you?
I'm great, thanks.
You just came out with this new book, Beginner's Guide to What to Eat with Type 2 Diabetes. Tell us a little bit about it.
Sure, instead of thinking about it as a book, I prefer you think about it as a course. It's just a PDF download. It's all, written, no video or anything like that. So it's like an ebook, but it's divided into lessons. So it's not like a typical book. It would take you through lessons the same way somebody might if they sat in my office and wanted to learn about, I just got diabetes. I just have, type 2 diabetes, found out recently, and I just don't know what to eat. And it's the type of thing that I would go through with somebody in my office. So think of it more as a course, but it's very basic and, but not so basic that it's not helpful. It doesn't just say, eat these healthy foods.
I looked at it this morning. I really liked it a lot. I think a lot of it is like food diary and food journaling and just becoming more aware. Why do you think that is a crucial role in helping you begin to get to that optimum management of your diabetes by just kind of journaling your food?
Well, I think people don't realize sometimes what they're eating and how much they're eating. So that's a key that comes to food journaling for many, many reasons. But when it comes to diabetes management, the main things that we want to think about are heart health, because people with type 2 diabetes have at least double the risk of heart disease, at least. So we want to think about heart health, and we have to think about blood sugar management. So they're the same, they're also a little bit different. And when it comes to the blood sugar management, I think people do not understand really and truly where their foods are coming from. So what I like to see is people keep a list of maybe their top foods. Just write it down off the top of your head even. What are your top foods that you eat all the time? And then really look to see which ones of those foods have carbohydrates in them. It's almost all of them. You know,
Yeah, I was
other
gonna
than
say, it's
pure
like
meat.
what is like a common misconception? Like I didn't like someone said, "Oh my gosh, I had no idea that was a carbohydrate."
A lot of people don't know that milk has carbohydrate in it. And people who do know milk has carbohydrate in it often think that hard cheese does, but it rarely does. So that's one thing. And then other people think that fruit is nothing but sugar. And some people think that fruit is healthy. It can't be sugar. So there's a lot of confusion. But you know what? Vinegar has sugar in it. And it's not added sugar, it's sugar. And vegetables, broccoli and carrots. Now, fortunately, none of those things have so much that it's going to matter to most people with type 2 diabetes. But depending on how people eat, it does matter. Like one time I had a lady who was drinking 8 to 9 glasses of milk every day. Well, that's a lot of carbohydrate. But if you're just having a glass, an 8 ounce glass, it's not more than a slice of bread. But
And
when
so
you're having
what did you recommend to her? Did you start asking her to substitute some water in between those glasses of milk, or what did you say?
Well, it was a long time ago, so I can't be certain what I said to her. But I probably would say something along the lines of have it at the meals where it's the most meaningful to you and have something else otherwise, but let's measure it so we know what you're getting. And I don't think that anybody has to measure for the rest of their lives. But if you're just beginning and you don't know what you eat, you probably think you do, but you probably still don't know, and I would like you to measure some. So that's what I have found in my practice previously is that people will tell me they eat a certain thing, but then when I ask them to show me the amount, it's very, very different.
Yes, I agree with that because most of us are mindless eaters and we're not really thinking about what we eat. So it's hard to remember. I know that's how I am. I'm usually looking at my phone or a computer screen while I eat, and I totally have no concept of the portions. Now, looking at you, you would never think this, but you do admit that you stumbled with your dieting plan too. And I know that for a while, I remember seeing Queen Latifah all over the TV saying just losing 10 pounds could make a considerable difference. So I'm just wondering what obstacles you were facing when you were trying to manage your weight and how you overcame them for people who are watching.
Well, I still manage my weight. Okay. So I
And
lost
a lot of
weight.
people wouldn't know that. A lot of people think that if they looked at you, Jill, when they see your videos or when you're in a Zoom event with us, or even looking at you right now, wouldn't think it was a problem at all. So I think for a lot of people, that's eye-opening right there.
Well, and I think that's important. I think if you look around the world, or at least look around the US, most of the people who are at a healthy weight do work at it. You know, some people don't, they're just naturally slim, but I think most people do. So I do manage my weight. But the way I got past the horrible time where, you know, I would just go to Baskin and Robbins and get a triple scoop, and then on my way back stop for some French fries at McDonald's. You know, that was a really long time ago, but I do remember it. The way I got past that is that I just started being a little nicer to myself, and I started thinking about what food is, you know, and it's supposed to be delicious, but it's not supposed to be, you know, a mountain of it. And it's supposed to nourish you, but that's not its only point. So changing my mindset really helped me a lot, and to stop thinking about food as being good and bad. You know, there are healthful foods, and then there's other fun foods.